pretty good coach. I'd agree. I think that's a good statement.
Remember
But
when?
Go ahead.
Remember when he used to get passed up on Coach of the Year award, just like LeBron, where it's like, okay, it's Pop, but we're gonna give it to Mike Budenholzer this year.
Coach Bud deserved it. Both years.
He did, because Coach Bud won in 2014?
Yeah, on the 60-win team.
Spurs were the best team that year. It was so clear that the Spurs were so incredible.
It was the Hawks.
I understand. It was the same thing. It was the same thing that would happen with LeBron, where it was like, all right, Kevin Durant had it this year, but it was like, but LeBron is the best player. Like, it was just known.
He wasn't the most valuable, though.
Yeah, I agree. But it's like, at what point do you?
I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't.
I know you will never agree with that take, no matter what. But I'm saying that's what it's like.
Part, some years he didn't deserve it, though.
I'd agree, but a lot of the time.
I know what you're trying to say. This isn't the argument we're trying to make. We're trying to talk about LeBron's not even in the playoffs, so I don't even know why you're talking.
I was just saying, like, how good of a coach Pop is. That's what I was saying.
I know what you were saying. I was just saying it's time to move on. Let's go to the next. Oh no, let's keep talking about this series because this is actually a very good series. I mean, I was saying we shouldn't even be surprised. I mean, I still think Denver's going to find a way to pull this out because I think they're just so much more talented. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be surprised if Pop could just really find his way to out-coach them. They just keep finding players. Derek White looks insane. He looks great. I don't know. I really think that Denver will win this in 7.
So here's the problem with a team like Denver, and we saw it last year in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Celtics. So during the regular season, you have 10 guys. Really, you have 10 to 12 guys that'll play, be consistent, contribute. In the playoffs, that gets shortened down to 8, and really, I mean, 5 guys are the impact. Your closing 5 are your impact players. The problem with a team like Denver is they are a 10 player deep team. They're a 12 player deep team. They have guys on their bench, deep on their bench that are that contribute and give minutes that matter. And they're usually playing against the other team's 10 or 9 or whatever. Well, in the playoffs, that gets shortened to 8. And it's like, how do you deal with that? So San Antonio was like, all right, they were like, all right, DeRozan, White's hot, so we're going to play him, DeRozan, and LaMarcus Aldridge. You guys are getting 38 minutes. You guys are going to be on the floor, and it makes the second unit for Denver less effective because they're going up against competition. It's just a situation they're not used to. You saw the same thing happen with the Celtics last year, where it was like, well, Terry Rozier was doing great, but it was like they had that 9-10 guy that was so great during the season. Well, now you're guarded by LeBron. So it changes things. You're not used to it, and it's how do they adjust?
They're gonna have to make some adjustments. They're gonna have to come out. They don't win this next game, it's over.
I'd agree. I think run your offense through Joker. That's what got you here. Run your offense through Joker. I think Will Barton, Gary Harris are really good players. Let your players make plays. I think they got it. Do you care about – there's one I'm saving for the end because I don't want to talk about it, and I think you know which one. I do. Do you want to talk about Houston, Utah?
I don't really have much to say about it.
Houston's better than Utah. We kind of knew it.
I think Utah is going to make it a pretty close series. I think it'll come down to 6.
I want to see – so the thing that is scary for Utah is Rudy Gobert really didn't have that much of an impact last night. And you don't do anything with Rudy Gobert not adding an impact. Houston is rolling. They've been so hot. James Harden has been good at letting Chris Paul run the offense, which they were doing last year, but it hadn't happened so much this year with Chris Paul's injury, among other things that they've had to deal with. But he's okay with Chris Paul running the offense. I think Gerald Green is the perfect role player. PJ Tucker's great. They just have players that's it's like they say to Gerald Green and PJ Tucker, run to the corner, shoot your open shots. Clint Capella, when James or Chris drives, roll in, try to catch a lob. Austin Rivers, when we put you in, we'll give you a couple chances to try to heat up. Other than that, don't do anything. And they do it perfectly, and it just works. This Houston team is looking real good.
Yeah, I agree with 100% what you just said. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the West. They're one of the toughest teams in the West. I would really like to see them play Denver in the next round, but I don't think San Antonio has the firepower to play with them.
I think Denver is going to get it, but we'll see. Next up, let's talk about the Celtics-Pacers. Celtics played well. Their defense, and you saw that third quarter. 2 made field goals. One of them was goaltending. Pacers don't have any offense. They don't have offense.
No offense. They're a very good defensive team, and how many points did they score this game? It was very, very low scoring.
Wasn't it like 70? Did they? They didn't crack 80. I don't think. Let me look it up.
It was such a low scoring game. But yeah, that's what I've noticed all year when I watch Indiana play. I'm like, they're a good team, but they have no offense. They're not.
Yeah, 74-84 is the final.
Their offense is just terrible. I mean, I think Bogdanovich is their best offensive threat.
Mm-hmm. And Celtics completely nullified Bogdanovich. So the thing is, Miles Turner can hit some threes. He shot at, I think it was like a 38% clip, which is really good. So he can hit some threes. He can stretch that team out. I think DeMontis Sabonis has some moves. He's got an interesting game. He can get to the rack. Bogdanovich is their three-point shooter. Tyreek Evans is the guy that they kind of lean on to create the offense to really move the game up. They need their guys hitting. They need Wesley Matthews hitting threes. They need their guys hitting threes, or else they're not going to – if they get past Boston, they're not doing anything in the next round. And I don't think they're getting past Boston.
Yeah, whoever gets past it, they're going to lose to Milwaukee.
All right, should we talk about it?
Yeah. You want me to ask you the first question?
Sure.
All right, Matt. As a diehard Oklahoma City Thunder fan, how'd you feel about Game 1?
Next question.
Did you feel like C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard just had a great game?
Next question.
Do you think Enes Kanter had some extra aggression playing against you guys, knowing he's coming back to play his former team?
Yeah. Next question.
Matt, are you just pretending to be Russell Westbrook right now?
Yeah, I'm done with this. Y'all tripping.
Hey, wait. Can you say next question one more time?
Next question.
Hey, Matt, what's going to be the best question of this interview?
Next question. Let's talk about it. I think, oh, man. This is just it's not the game you want to see because it's one of those things where the thing with OKC, I like the way they play almost every time because they are get to the rack, play good defense. Get to the rack, play good defense. And when it doesn't work, it's like, well, we deserve to lose that game. I think Enes Kanter knows Steven Adams and knows his moves too much. Enes Kanter was killing us. We have no answer for him.
Playing hard. He was getting a lot of offensive boards, a lot of dirty buckets. He was he was grinding out there. He was doing exactly what he had to do. Mm-hmm. He was playing like the Turkish dictator was sitting sideline, and he was ready to execute him if they didn't win that game.
Yep. He that game was an FU to Ergodan somehow.
Hey, we have no say in the Turkish thing. No opinion.
I have some opinions that I will not say.
Say Portland, they did it for Jessica. Jessica didn't believe in him.
I'd love to. I'm trying, Jessica.
I didn't know anything about that story until Portland tweeted, "That's for you, Jessica."
Oh wait, they tweeted it.
Yeah.
Oh man, CJ McCollum's response was my favorite. The thing that's so frustrating is I thought this was our best matchup, really, because Damian Lillard during the season has shot like 20% when guarded by Westbrook. Paul George, who obviously is very bothered by that shoulder. I mean, that shoulder is really hurting. You can tell he's not 100%. But Paul George has locked down C.J. McCollum in the past. Without Nurkic, I thought they would have trouble stopping Steven Adams. And the thing is, like, we can score against Portland. They have a very porous defense. None of it happened this game. Literally, it just, if you go down the line, we couldn't hit our shots. Damian Lillard was on fire, was hitting from the beginning. CJ McCollum played well. We couldn't get offensive boards or rebounds because Enes Kanter was eating them all up. I mean, you look down at all the things that OKC needs to do right to be a threat. We did none of them. It was just not well played.
I think Oklahoma City wins that game if they play a decent first quarter.
Yeah. Well, they should be in every game just with, star power alone. You think about it, if Russell Westbrook and Paul George play well enough, they're both top 10 players. But
it's hard to win in Portland.
We'll have to. We have to at some point. So
you try to win one.
Yeah, I think the next game we play will be better. I'm real worried. I really think that Paul George is hurting. I think that shoulder is rough, and really it's both of them, but specifically that right one. I think it's hurting, and I don't know. He's gonna have to figure something out because we can't win if he doesn't play his A game.
You just gotta hope Grant drops 40.
I think you joke about it. I think Nerlens Noel and Terrence Ferguson, and really to an extent Dennis Schroeder, because if Lillard can just every time he's on the court, doesn't matter if it's Westbrook or Schroeder, like he's having to work. And I think if Terrence Ferguson can hit his shots, and if Nerlens Noel can make those high energy plays, because really it's our second unit can't get blown out.
I think if Dennis can give you some points,
which he can.
Take one off the road. If you get a real good game from Dennis, where you can get like 15 points, 20 points, you're winning that game.
Yeah, he was hesitant to shoot it. It's so hard because when he plays with Westbrook, he's not a shooter. And when he plays with Westbrook, sometimes it's a little bit too much of like Westbrook will penetrate, the defense will collapse, he'll kick it to Schroeder, who will then penetrate, the defense will collapse, and it's like, well, someone's got to shoot at some point.
Dennis is just quick, and he relies on getting to the rim.
Yeah. So we'll see. The Thunder can win any game. I truly believe the Thunder can win any game. They can be the best team on the floor, but it's whether they do it.
Yeah, it's one game. It's a game all you got to do is split on the road. That's all you want to do if you're the road team.
It's true. All right, so we're going to talk about the other games and the hockey games later tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. During our playoff segment, we did not talk about two of the matchups, and that's because those are the games that we're playing tonight and that we have just finished watching. Let's start with the Philly Nets, where Philadelphia wins by 20 and 145 to I think it's 145 to 123. I think they won by 22. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Could you imagine scoring 120 points and being like, "Yep, we got blown out"?
I don't know. Philly just went nuts. Ben Simmons had a pretty good night.
Yep, tripped up.
Couldn't stop him. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, they had a very good third quarter. Philly did. The thing that is very worrisome. It's very worrisome for Philly is they don't know how to defend a pick and roll. That's basically what Brooklyn said. They said, "Hey, we're just going to throw D'Lo in a pick and roll, and then we're either going to pass to an open shooter or pass to the rolling player because Joel Embiid doesn't know what to do, and Boban is not much better because he's so slow. Like Philly can't defend a pick and roll." Just a basic pick and roll. They don't know how to defend it. That's why they gave up 123 points. The other thing is, what I don't understand is, if you're Philly, if I'm Philly, the first 5 plays I run are Joel Embiid on the left block of every game. The first 5, I say, fuck everything else. Give him the ball on the low block. He's unstoppable. And I think that was the difference this game. He went 9 for 11, basically, on post-ups on the lower left block, and then 1 for 1 on, just rolls to the basket. But he's unstoppable, and he'll just like stay outside and shoot. It's like, get to the block, just give it to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this game. It wasn't very close.
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn took game 1, so I guess they did their job.
Yep.
They split on the road. Philly did their job tonight. They corrected their mistakes. If their whole game plan is just to outscore Brooklyn, I guess you could do that.
I think they're gonna have trouble. I really think the Nets are gonna. We'll see how Philly does in their and Brooklyn's building, but the Nets are gonna give them trouble because the 76ers